Good morning, everyone. Brian here again with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have the review for us of the ColecoVision original library game, Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park. Now, with this one, it was developed by Konami Corporation and published by Coleco Industries Incorporated, or Coleco Industries Inc. in 1984. Well, it was probably under development in 83 and released in 84. Anyway, it's a little bit of an interesting story to a small degree in that, kind of like I talked about when we went over the, a little bit of what looked like a smudge there. When we went over the Atari VCS 2600 prototype digital download game ROM that I have of that one, well, basically, Cabbage Patch Kids, they were very popular back in the early through about the mid to later 80s. One of Coleco's really successful properties. Sure, it was more of a girly toy and all, but even I, being a young kid at that time, ended up getting one. Not sure if I wanted it or not, but then again, too, I had this old, baby doll is what I called it. It had been my mother, she gave it to me. It's one of them old ones that, had everything, even including plastic hair and all, and it had eyes that would open and shut depending on whether you had it sitting up or laying back. And it was mine, my baby doll, so I was a boy, but still I kept and played with it. And, at the younger age, you don't really make a huge distinction, so when I ended up getting a Cabbage Patch Kid doll, I just went ahead and played with it and kept it, even though I kind of remember at that point even that I kind of considered it more of a girly toy and wasn't super excited. But, it was a big thing. Everyone was getting them. So anyway, at about this time, the 1983 North American industry and market crash for video games had happened, or was well underway. And, well, Coleco wasn't really ready to give up on the ColecoVision yet. So, in order to try and prop up one of their properties that had been doing good and was a good product, the ColecoVision, but wasn't doing as well as it had been previously, they took one of their other properties that was still hot and still on the rise, the Cabbage Patch Kids, and created this game in an attempt to, as I said, kind of prop up and put a game out that would kind of help with revitalizing things with the ColecoVision a bit, or so they hoped. Don't know if it worked as well as they would have liked. I know some people did like this game, some didn't as well, but it's a pretty decent game and all. It's kind of like a little bit of a combination of something like between maybe, say, I wouldn't say adventure, but something like between adventure and Pitfall. It's a basic standard platformer. Here I have the loose cartridge I got, which you can see, fortunately it doesn't have one of those that would have a lot of glare behind it. You can see it says it's for the ColecoVision and Atom, so yeah, you could use it with the Atom computer expansion. Let's see, it says 1984, trademark and license from original Appalachian Artworks Incorporated. I guess that's who was behind Cabbage Patch Kids or something. And based upon a game licensed from Konami Industry, Co. Ltd. And manufactured by Coleco Industries Incorporated. So yeah, and it's got the basic bag for overlays and all. I don't know if it came with them or not. I guess I'll look in here in a second and see. But anyway, this one's very nice. It's a nice, clean, well-together label. I don't think I had to use any glue stick or anything on this one. I think it came perfectly fine and all. And here we have also the manual, which you can see here. It's kind of hard to spot, but the manual, the front page, the cover page is a little bit, could be in better shape, but the rest is all pretty well good and in order. Looks like there's a few splotches of, you might not be able to see on camera, but brown stuff, like maybe it got something on it from a drink or something, which is probably why it's a little messy looking there. Anyway, it says on the front, take a stroll through the park with one of the Cabbage Patch Kids. Can you help them get back to the Babyland Park entrance? And that's basically the premise. It's exercise time. Anna Lee, one of the Cabbage Patch Kids, is warming up for a day of athletic adventures in the park. She's taking you along, so stretch your muscles and get ready for a workout. This adventure is no picnic. As you stroll through the park, you'll encounter obstacles they never told you about in the Cabbage Patch. You'll leap onto floating lily pads, jump over cabbages and bouncing balls, and hop over puddles so deep they could float a ship. Maybe that should say sink a ship. That'd make more sense, but And that's the easy part. By the time you get back to the park's entrance, you'll know just what kind of physical shape you're really in. Are you ready for the workout? And that's basically what's the story that tells you about getting ready to play, Talks about the game has 1-player and 2-player mode. Then it says choosing up. And how to, you press just button 1 to play a 1-player game and 5 to play a 2-player. It tells you about your ColecoVision controllers and all. Including, apparently, you can use the Super Action controller with this one. Didn't know that. And I don't see anything that says anything about an overlay for the game, so I guess there's not one. Then it tells you about here's how to play, strolling through the park, time is on your side, big girls don't cry, leaping lily pads, take a swing, ahead of cabbage, boing. Basically, it's describing all the various screens with obstacles and challenges you may face, including giving you a little bit of example of the pond one here. And the springs down here. Then continue some more. It tells you about the Big Apple, which is basically something you can, on some screens you can get an apple for an extra points. Hop, skip, and jump, which is another one. Puddle, muddle, jump and jump again. Best kid on the block, timeout, poof, fountains for youth. All fired up and has a little bit of illustrations. Holy mackerel, up in a puff. There's this rides a lily. Back padding, and then it tells you about starting over. Once you lose a game, then it tells you about scoring, which is grabbing a vine, you get 200 points, landing on a lily pad, 200. Jumping over a rock and jumping on a trampoline will both get you 100. Grabbing an apple is 200 points, jumping over a ball is 50 points. Jumping over a puddle, 100. Jumping onto a block, 100. Jumping into a fountain, 200. Jumping over a campfire, 100. And it tells you start the game with 3 Cabbage Patch Kids, and a round is complete when you return to the Babyland Park entrance. At the end of each round, you receive a 2,000 point bonus score. That's nice. If the blue indicator is not turned completely orange by the time you complete a round, you'll earn even more points. Cool. Didn't even know about that. And then it says you earn 1 bonus kid when your score reaches 10,000 points and another bonus kid for every 20,000 points thereafter. Then, of course, it tells you about the fun of discovery, how there are some things that it doesn't tell you about in here. The 90-day limited warranty, the service policy over here. And a little bit of the Coleco and credits on the back. Let's see, that's... About an 11-page manual from front to back. 12 if you include the back. It just isn't numbered back there. Anyway, let me go ahead and get this back in here. This is a little bit of the protective sleeve that was sent with all this, which is a very nice thing too. Very nice touch, since that helps keep things from getting any worse degraded. Anyway, I've talked nearly about 10 minutes here. This is not a super complex game. You guys might remember with the Atari VCS 2600 prototype, I had a lot more trouble getting past just the first level. This one, not so tough. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get set up to throw it into my ColecoVision Phoenix, and we're going to take a little look at the gameplay. Okay, so here we go with Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park, a ColecoVision original library game. Okay, my Phoenix is getting started. It should switch over in just a sec. There we go, 1983 OA. Well, you guys got the idea. 1 for 1 player. Now the game here is interesting. It has some interesting mechanics and all, such as, you know, not everything is maybe as straightforward as you might want to imagine. Like that, when you jump and grab a vine and such, you don't really jump and move forward by pressing forward. Or, you know, pulling the mini joystick or joypad to the right. Instead, you tend to fall wherever you let go at. Which basically, it's the main joystick or mini thumbstick to move, and your first button or first fire button or second fire button to jump. Okay, here we are. On the trampoline, press the button to jump straight up some, then press forward. And the button to jump forward, though it can get a bit tricky. You have to do it right when you're on the part of the trampoline and not fall off and bust your rear. It can and does happen. Ball, 50 points. I've noticed with obstacles like these puddles, if you land too close to them, you want to kind of take a step back to the right before trying to jump again. Otherwise, you'll miss and go straight into one. Uh-oh, ball and vine. Second ball. That second ball sometimes gets me with it. Here's the blocks. Same idea as with jumping on something like the over the puddles and all. You want to take a step back if you're too far over to the right and all, so you don't fall and bust her rear. Enemy's not super, how do you say, super vulnerable, but some. Okay. So I got my 2,000 point, my bonus score 2,000. And we're on to number 2, which gets a bit more complicated. Uh-oh. Those things fall, and if they hit you, well, you lose a life. This one here can get a little tricky. You gotta watch for the height on them. Don't try to jump when they're too far apart from you, or like this last part, don't jump when it's too far off the ground, or you'll have Nana Lee getting busted up. Oh, jumped a bit too close before the fire. I tend to do that every dadgum time for some reason. And that's the B, as before mentioned. The ball. Oh, darn it. Ah. I jumped too close to the vine. And I got hit by the second ball. Okay, well, we'll try it one more time and see if I can do a little better. First level is pretty simple, you know, if you just watch it and understand that the game mechanics are a bit weird, but, no, not gonna do that. Reset. Okay, we'll try it one more time and see if I can do a bit better than I did last time. Admittedly, level 2 is not super tough if you're kind of used to it, but me, it's one... do that again. Level 2 can be one of those, the obstacles get a bit more tricky, so... No, 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 no. Hate it when it does like that. Should be losing your life on level 1 for any reason. go, and ooh, barely made that. There we go, hard time getting her to move right at first. This thumbstick for the ColecoVision main thumbstick main joystick is pretty good for control on this one. But again, you have to watch it because the physics of the game presents you with are not 100% not 100% easy to get through. Here we go through stage 1. Got the bonus and the extra Cabbage Patch Kid. And here's another thing that tells you about, it basically tells you it goes from scene to scene. Calls them all scenes for whatever reason. Oh, jumped too high. Can't believe I'd made that mistake. There, that's better. Bees here are at least not they don't come super low to come at you, which is good, but at the same time, gotta watch this one. They used to get me all the time because those fish things jumping will, and I do mean will, they will cost you a life as a hazard. There, I managed to clear that one, if just barely. Okay, no ball to worry about. Ha! Made it. I actually think that's the first time I made it through level 2 without losing them all. Not sure if I picked up an extra life there or not, but see what we can do. I haven't been this far around yet. Okay. Phew. So I was going to get me on that one for certain, and I was a goner. And killed by a bouncing ball. Well, made it into level 3, got a little way through it, I can't complain too much. I think you guys have seen enough with the gameplay, though. Okay, so that was Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park, an original library game for the ColecoVision. Is it pretty good? Yeah, I think so, pretty much. Pretty well done. Again, maybe something based on the Cabbage Patch Kids would not be everybody's favorite preference. And, the physics on it can be a bit tricky until you learn how to work with them, but I'd say if you haven't tried it before, give it a shot because it is pretty fun once you get into it. And it does look and sound pretty nice. I will say Anna Lee looks a little bit on this one more away from what I would imagine a Cabbage Patch Kid, like a Cabbage Patch Kid doll to look like in some ways. But other than that, it does look and sound pretty good and plays pretty well, so no biggie. You guys, I guess, can also see, Monday I went and managed to see my barber. I meant to go and try to get it done last Friday, but they had like a 2-hour wait with nobody having come in since it's a barber school, and sometimes students are there working, sometimes they're not, and when I went Monday, I still had to wait. I got there around 9:30. Somebody finally came in to get me about 10:25, so nearly an hour, but I had nothing better to do, so I said it's time to get it done and all. And with the 6 cowlicks popping up and everything, yeah, I'm not going to leave them forever. You guys might be able to tell a little bit. Wasn't a completely perfect job. There's some here that wasn't done as well as it could be, but other than that, I look pretty good, I think, and presentable, so I'm glad to have that done again for a while. Gives me at least another 2 weeks before this stuff should be back to needing it again. Anyhow, I have a few recommendations and links for you guys. Willie with his channel Arcade USA. I don't know who, as it's didn't watch it. I did watch it, but forget who was mentioned. But he actually plays this a bit competitively with a fellow host, as he terms it, and kind of laments that too bad the host didn't have a little bit better picture quality, as it's a little bit fuzzy looking, but still worth watching. Pets' Gym 1 has one. 8-Bit Millie, my friend Will Williams, on his channel played it some time back, and really had a hard time, as he had a hard time getting down with the gameplay mechanics, but kudos for trying, so I included it. Crow Capture, and then Intellivision Dude. Sheesh, Robert. With Intellivision Dude, I'm surprised. He sometimes plays Atari 7800 games, I think. And I wasn't aware that he plays ColecoVision, but go figure. I thought it was mostly Intellivision, but, like a lot of other gamers and retro gamers, classic gamers, however you want to put it, a lot of us are pretty diverse. Take me, for instance. Okay, I stick to mostly older second generation, some third generation stuff, but you guys have seen occasionally I present something older generation, like the Nintendo 64 NHL Hockey 99, whatever it was, NHL 99. Yeah, I'll go up to 5th generation sometimes, but this is kind of where I prefer to be, is back with this stuff. Anyway, beyond that, there's ColecoVision channel, which I just recently added. I think they're related with both the Atari 2600 channel and the Intellivision channel, which the Intellivision channel I'd recently added, so this is the first one from them. And then 65 Gamer Guy has one, a pretty good review on it. I'll also go ahead and leave a link to the Wikipedia article on this particular game for those who may care to read up a bit further. Now, you guys who watch my announcement posts and all, well, I haven't put one up yet, but keep your eyes peeled, as there should be an announcement post for the prototype, homebrew, or ProBrew game review coming up this coming Sunday. I'm actually waiting on something to come in which should probably be here in time, so it may be a bit longer than just this morning, or sometime later this morning before I put up that announcement post, but keep your eyes peeled here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter at my stuff, and you should catch the announcement post when I get it up. I've actually got a pretty good one coming up in the works, which I think everyone will find to be pretty interesting. And it's only one of a few I've got. Finally, we'll get out of having to do emulation. Again, don't get me wrong, I don't mind well-done emulation, and if I have to take a digitally downloaded emulated game ROM to fill in the gap once in a while, or for maybe 1 or 2 weeks or so in a row, I'll do it, It's just, I prefer, especially when it comes to like homebrew or ProBrew games, and sometimes even prototypes, I'd rather have a physical copy if at all possible. I much rather prefer playing with, physical hardware, whether original hardware or not, and original copies, physical copies of games where possible, or heck, even a reproduction cartridge works for me. I'm old school. Sure, I've got a more of a new school thing to me too, since I do use emulation and stuff some, but I just work out wherever I can. Anyway, keep your eyes peeled for that, because that should be coming up. Big shout out to my ColecoVision and Adam Fanatics Facebook group and my ColecoVision World Facebook group. Love you guys over there, and y'all should hopefully be getting this video before too long this morning. The weather's been a bit warmer and more clear here, so hopefully I'll get a good signal and we'll get this done before the morning drags on too much. Since I usually sit there and wait for it to happen and get everything posted up, and sometimes that's still pretty early in the morning when I'm actually ready to go to bed or go back to bed. Can sometimes get annoying, but I do what I have to do. Anyway, if you guys enjoy my channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comment section below. You guys take care, have a wonderful Wednesday, and hopefully I will see everyone back here again on this coming Sunday and maybe a bit before.